My dear boys and girls, welcome back again to your favorite astrology channel, and which is Jopiman Astrology. So today in this video we're gonna talk about the planet in the second house. As per that, how's your life, how's your money, wealth, your married life, spouse, and like the things that we can discuss like overall about your life, family, wealth, etc. Okay, so we're gonna discuss that in this video.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
First of all, I would like to tell you that the second house in the horoscope is said to be the house of wealth. Okay, this is also the house of savings. The savings refer to the money earned by a person through his own efforts. Okay, and in addition, this house is the house of person's family also. Okay, the planet which forms a position like conjunction, aspect, the relationship of this house influence the personal family relation also. Okay, like that we have to see which planet is there, then influence of other planets on this planet, on this house, and a lot of things. If the house lord aspect the second house lord, the house becomes strong. That means the second lord, whichever your second lord is, if it's aspect its own house, that is second house, it is showing that your second house is becoming stronger. Okay, that's really good for your family life, money, etc. The position of an auspicious planet in the house, right, increases the wealth of a person. See guys, among 12, all the 12 houses, the second house is like the important, like one of the most important. It represent our teeth, our face, our voice, our speech, our mannerism, right eye, food, the food we eat, like the kind of, like what kind of a food you have, like what taste food you like the best, or I can say the most, that you can also see. Like whether your face has some glow, like charming attraction, or your face doesn't have that, we can see that by second house also. Also we see your family, your some time of like the primary education, ethical values, and obviously your accumulated wealth. Okay, and like the family assets, and liquid assets, and like lot of things we can see, earning gains, etc. Many things this house can tell you apart from all these things also. The second house is the main indicator of wealth that is earned on the daily basis, as opposed to the large sums of money gains from side ventures. Okay, which is ruled by the planet 11th house, which is ruled by the 11th house, sorry. The second house rules knowledge, education, and imagination also. Okay, it governs teaching, speaking, lecture, right? And we can also see all these kind of things depending upon what planet is there. Now, as per scriptures, Hindu scriptures state that a good second house makes a person well versed in shastras, scripture, religious teaching. So it's like a big one house is like the second house is really a big thing. It can have a lot of things, but generally we know about the face and voice, food taste, and speech, and all these kind of stuff. Okay, like your voice, sorry. In fact, the person will be knowledgeable in many field, depending upon what planet is there. It also represent a lot of things, like some kind of, like if some certain planet is there, so sometimes interest in astrology, writing, etc. can also be seen. Okay, we're gonna see what will happen to your overall life as per like the planet place in the second house. Okay, this is just a general thing that I would like to discuss about the second house. Now let's just go ahead and discuss different planets. So what will gonna happen when sun is placed in your second house? See guys, sun, first of all, if sun is in the second house, then the person likes to increase his saving and strengthen his economic status. The person spends his money wisely and may be a miser. Okay, he is very keen to increase his knowledge because of sun placement in the second house. Now, because of the sun in the second house, the person with this placement has an influential kind of a voice, very intellectual kind of a person, authoritative voice can be seen. Okay. Sun in the second house also make person stubborn, like they will do whatever they wants to, so stubborn nature can also be seen. Sun in the second house can also give you ego. Okay, sometimes ego issues can also be seen. So if you have sun in the second house, like of course things can be changed depending upon like the sign aspects and other things, conjunction, etc. But again, generally if you feel that you have like ego is there, you have to analyze yourself, because you are studying astrology and you find that okay, I have sun in the second house, I am feeling like little bit sometime egoistic. So just try to control yourself. That's what I can advise you, because see, these are the benefits of astrology. You can just know that okay, I have this planetary placement, I have these strength and these weakness. So improve your strength and just try to reduce your weakness. Okay, and then only you can become a better human being. Okay, that's the best thing about astrology. Now guys, sun in the second house make one like food generally, like the heated food, or I can say the food which is like very hot food kind of a thing the person like. Okay, he may like everything he will eat, he wants it to be like hot, not cold. Okay, these things can generally be seen. Sun in the second house makes a person like fried, heated with oil, etc. Like the spicy, salty, fried, high heated food is liked by the person. Person wants to eat these kind of food, because sun is kind of a rajasic planet. That's why sun give the taste. Like if sun in the second house, so you have a taste that you would like to eat spicy, or I can say little bit like a heat. You do not like to eat the food which is like a cold, or like the cold things you do not like. You like more like the hot dishes or something like that. Okay, and a bit salty food. Now of course things will change as per other thing, but these are like the thing that you can see generally. Now guys, sun being sitting in the second house, it can also be possible that one can access to the people who work with government, or maybe your family. If you have sun in the second house, your family have someone who is working in the government, like your father may also work in government, your father may be a government employee, or maybe you're someone like your brother or sister, someone like a government employee. That can also be seen. See, sun being the lord of the creative rashi, or I can say sign, which is naturally the fifth house of zodiac. That means the sun is the ruler of naturally the fifth house, and now sitting in the second house. So it show that like the family have creative, artistic kind of a people, maybe politician, maybe government employee, right? All these kind of a thing can be seen. Okay, now whether you have artist kind of a family, politician, or maybe someone in your family likes to play guitar, etc., very creative kind of a person, or if not creative, then maybe in politics or government related work, or maybe in government job, if not even in politics. So these things can be seen. Now see, generally sun as your our soul significator, or like the indicator of our soul, it is sitting in the second house. So it gives an intense connection to the knowledge, teaching, writing, okay, as well as money, collectibles, and material possessions. The person loves gaining information and knowledge and working with it. Okay, when sun is placed in the second house, he is talented. He can be talented in communication activities. If sun is there in the second house, it can also possible. He may become a teacher or a writer. Even if like a Mercury is also prominent in the chart or strong, then he has like a good imagination. Let's say Mercury is strong, or like in some prominent position, and sun in the second house, then it may possible that he can also become writer. The person is driven to make money and to fulfill the material desire when sun in the second house. Okay, now guys, it may also possible that if you have sun in the second house, so you may work hard for wealth, and you will not stop until you succeed. You really work hard for attaining wealth, and until you succeed, you will not gonna stop. That can also be possible. Now definitely, because of sun in the second house, you appear as a stubborn person, very stubborn person. To anyone who see, they are like, oh my god, this guy is so stubborn, or this girl is so stubborn. Okay, who just get in the way of his just look, follow his, like, just have lots of ambitions and just want to follow, want to succeed. A very stubborn person, wants to do whatever they wants to do. Very daring kind of a personality. This kind of personality can be seen, like, I want to do this and I will do this, I don't care what the hell world think about, like, that kind of stubborn nature can also be seen, because sun is obviously authority and sitting in the second house over here. Now, however, actually he knows what he want, like, sometime it happened that you have disagreement with your father, mother, like your family, you want something else, they are saying you to do something else. But if sun in the second house, and it's like a well respected or like well placed, then these guys are definitely very stubborn person. They know what they want to do. It doesn't even matter what the hell world tell them, they wants what they want to do, and they do it irrespective of anything else. Now, whether the sun in the second house is more indicative of a interest in money or in knowledge or in writing or in communication realms, it depends upon the obviously rest of horoscope, because again, other planets etc is you must have to see that. Now, let's say if the 11th house, which rules the large sum of money, incoming gains, you know uh, and money from the side venture etc is powerful. If your 11th house is powerful, then sun in the second house is likely to be more related to money matter. That means if your 11th house is strong, then you are more money driven person, you would like to make money, your focus is towards that. In the same way, if let's say Venus is again strong, then definitely again money, luxury etc is important for you. That's your desire, like to attain that. Now, if however, let's say in chart is more spiritually inclined chart, or like education related chart, or maybe fifth house is more strong, then sun in the second house people will relatively more inclined towards knowledge, education, imagination, all these kind of a thing. So it depends upon the other thing. For that, so for that obviously full horoscope consultation is required. Mercury condition play a big part by revealing if the person loves knowledge more or money more, right? So Mercury is really important. Now, guys, this is all about sun in the second house. So I hope you get your help. Now, guys, it may also possible that because sun in the second house, it may also possible because it's also influence your eighth house, which is like in-laws. So it may also possible that you may have in-laws which are like a well respected, I can say respected in-laws, or like I can say very like rich kind of a thing can also be seen. Sometimes well respected family kind of a thing can be seen of your in-laws, because sun is here in the second house. So, guys, this is all about sun. Now let's move on to our next planet, which is moon. Now, guys, what will gonna happen when moon is placed in the second house of your horoscope? So, guys, when moon is placed in the second house of your horoscope, it makes the native happy, joyful person with like a good family, large family, having clear good kind of a person, loves to be sometime alone and self-centered kind of a person can also be seen because of moon in the second house. Now, person may not so much sociable, or of like a reserved nature kind of a person can be seen because of moon in the second house, mostly like complex or unconcerned about others. Okay, this can also be seen many times. A squint eye native, due to having moon in the second house, can be seen. Guys, because of moon in the second house, it may possible that your earning and income, like the money etc, can be through female, or like maybe mother related involvement, or like mainly like you may make money in which like female etc like kind of a thing can be involved. Guys, if you have moon in the second house, then definitely it will give you like a, there are high chances, if it's well placed, then it will give you a good status position, in general it can be seen. But definitely it will be variable, because moon goes ups and downs. Now, moon in the second house gives sweet and modest speech. It give you very sweet, cool, or I can say like very soothing kind of a speech, because moon is there in your second house. Being the soft, emotional and nurturing planet, moon is a very soft, nurturing and like emotional kind of a planet. Like moon, the person who has moon influence more, they have these nurturing, caring kind of a quality. uh, Once emotions are, I can say, like the tied into a kutum or like the family or lineage. See, because moon is placed in the second house, and so, and moon is an emotional planet, so what happened that you are somehow emotionally connected to your family, like the emotions are there within your family lineage. Like kutum is a word that you use for your, like, family kind of a thing. So uh there are high chances that you may be somehow emotionally or like attached to your family because of moon is there in the second house. Because of moon in the second house, you can find great nourishment, comfort, or I can say relax or peace of mind in family tradition. You may love these things. Okay, there are some people who love these things, and that there are others who do not love these things. It all depends. Okay, like for example, I do not like much about tradition, etc., all these kind of a thing. I like some things, but I personally love freedom. I believe in, like, person has their own life, and you must have to take your own decision. You must have to marry the person you want to. You must have to choose your career. Your life must be in your hand. But in India, like, there are certain traditions and rules and regulation that you can't marry the person you want. In most of the cases, it still happen in India. But now these guys are like mostly strict to their traditions because they are somehow emotionally attached to the family, etc., traditions, right? So it all depends. Like, these guys have that attachment. Okay. uh Now, guys, next thing I would like to tell you that since moon show fluctuating emotions also, like the fluctuation in the emotions, because moon uh, goes ups and downs, it waxes and wanes. So that's why it can also show that one's emotional dependency on the comfort of the family will cause the mind to undulate. Okay, that can also be seen. Now, guys, when you have moon in the second house, it show that your speech tends to be very soft, very soothing, very emotional, very caring. Like, when you speak, you have such a good speak, like the way that other feel, like, so you have some caring speak. Like, some people are so good when they speak, they are like, hey, are you good, like, are you okay, do you need any help? And like, should, like, for example, your mother give you, your mother care you, like, hey, I will, hey my daughter, hey my son, should I cook something for you, would you like to eat this? So that kind of a speech, like a very good, soft and soothing and caring speech, can be seen of a person when moon is placed in a well place. Obviously, now if someone say that, hey, I have moon in the second house and I'm a very harsh speaker, that's because maybe your moon is not in a good place, or moon may have some bad aspects, or like all these kind of a thing. We have to, obviously, full horoscope analysis is required, but generally moon in the second house people I've seen, they may have good speech, like very soothing and caring kind of a speech is like a soft, very soft kind of a speech. Now, moon in the second house can make person good singer also, because obviously you can understand it's like a, and especially these emotional singer, like the people who just sing song really emotionally, they connect with the people, and by literally by singing songs, some people just cry because emotionally they connect so well, and moon is emotional. So that kind of a thing can also be seen. Moon in the second house can make people very good singer also. Okay. Now, when you have moon in the second house, it show that your mother is an influential person in terms of like the family value and tradition, and also in your family, your mother will have a good influence, very good grip and hold, or I can say like the hold in your family. Okay, the family could be into the business of like caring, hospitality, nurturing, or like nourishing food, restaurant, all these kind of stuff, like food, etc., can be seen. Okay. uh One find emotional comfort in family values. Definitely, when you have moon in the second house, so somehow your emotional comforts, you will find it through family values. Okay, definitely your relation with the family must be important for you. Now, moon in the second house can also show professions like farming, gardening, warehousing, animal shelter, or dairy products. Or moon also, or maybe some family business, etc., can also be seen. Okay. Now, guys, it can also be seen many times that, like, when moon is in the second house, then person prefer business as his profession. Okay. In fact, I have seen, like, let's say you have 10th lord in the second house, I've seen some people like 10th lord in the second house, even if it's debilitated, like uh, the person is doing the family business, okay, because like 10th lord is going into other house of family, etc. So it's not like that only it's related to the moon, it can be depending upon other things, it can be other like the factory or like something of like depending upon other things, business of other stuff also. But like family, something related to family can be involved in this stuff. Now the person who is having the moon in the second house can have an active voice, and he respect his family tradition value. As I already told you, the person make profit through investment in different area, that can also be possible. Moon in the second house, person can have like because of moon in the second house investment in different areas and can make profit through that. uh, Definitely moon in the second house, if placed well placed, then it can economic like uh, your economic status will also get strengthened, okay. Moon is the significator or like the karka of money also, okay, the liquid. Therefore the person who has this yoga in his birth chart may not face economic problems generally, this can also be seen. Now moon is like a younger brother of Lakshmi ji, okay, so that's why it's really good in this position. uh, I said Laika. Okay, guys, please understand that. Guys, because of moon in the second house, it makes you a very smart, wealthy, and a famous person can also be seen. And obviously, moon in the second house is also your face, so it make you a beautiful person or like a handsome person. And also, when it aspect your eighth house, so it can show that depending upon other thing, if other thing is also working fine, that your spouse can be beautiful person, have very attractive face, that can also be seen. And also it show that you may get happiness and support from your family, okay, that can also be seen. The moon in the second house, person will be wealthy, knowledgeable, soft spoken, that can also be seen, and definitely you will have a beautiful face because of this. Now money matters are enjoyable and extremely important for you, okay, and definitely in future you will become wealthy if moon is well placed over here. You enjoy collectibles and material benefits because of moon placement in the second house. Now sometime money can also fluctuate because the moon is constantly in a waxing and a waning process, that's why money can also go ups and downs. uh, that can also be seen, guys, okay. Now the person can make money through farming, agriculture, as well as activity connected to the females like women clothing, perfumes, jewelry, and so on. The person can have like a very smooth education because of moon in the second house, show a smooth education. Because of moon in the second house, person speaks sweetly, and if moon is aspected by, let's say, Venus or maybe Mercury or maybe, let's say, Jupiter, then the person will be excellent or like a poet kind of a person, okay, or like a songwriter can also be seen. If, let's say, Mercury, Jupiter, or Venus influence the moon here, then it's like a good. You can be a good lecturer also if moon is placed in the second house, that can also be seen. See, moon is the ruler of the memory and the common sense in the second house. It is one of the best placement for the writers, teachers, etc. Okay, the person who has most fertile imagination and loves to immerse himself or herself into different kind of a knowledge can be seen when your moon is placed in the second house, okay. Now you can become an authoritative figure in your field, and like that can also be seen because of moon in the second house. For you, family life is quite important, and it actually get favored because of moon in the second house, and until or unless like moon is afflicted, that's a different thing. I'm just adding again and again, these are like the general thing as per moon in the place in the second house, like moon is placed in the second house, as per that, okay. And definitely we're gonna have to just analyze the chart for like the full horoscope consultation is required to see the proper things. For that, links are in description. Guys, one amazing thing I would like to tell you, when moon is placed in the second house or especially in the eighth house, people say moon in the eighth house is bad and this and that. I will create video about that in the future, but moon in the second house or in the eighth house make a person sexy, right? I'm saying again, I'm not saying any word other thing, I'm saying sexy, to be very specific. Sexy means sexy. When moon in the second house, it aspect your eighth house, okay? And also moon in the eighth house, result are same in terms of like sexy. When moon is there in the second house or in eighth house, it makes a person sexy. I'm very specific about the word. It means that if you are a male, you like females see you as a sexy male. If you are a female, males see you as a sexy female. Are you getting my point? So opposite gender, you feel like they see you as a sexy person because of moon actually make here you a sexual kind of appeal, or like a sexy appearance can be seen, okay? That's I would like to tell you. It's really important point over here, guys. When moon is there in the second house, you can have to understand that moon give its full effect in the 24th year. So at this time there will be benefit regarding finances, education, when you will do 24 year 24-year old. So regarding finances, education, family life, etc., okay, can be seen if moon is definitely well placed, then you can see some benefits over here. Okay guys, so guys, this is all about moon in the second house. I hope this helps, and let's move on to our next planet, which is Mars. Now what will gonna happen when Mars is placed in your second house, guys? See, when Mars acquires the second house, so it makes the native easily like the exciting kind of a person. They have the courage to earn money, they have the courage to accumulate it, to accumulate the wealth, but when it comes to spending, they behave as a wiser, they behave as a miser, okay guys? Now see, speech can be irrelevant or harsh, definitely, because you can understand Mars is there in the second house, so speech will be irrelevant and harsh, irrespect. Like exception is that when if like some benefic planets etc is aspecting, then things can be changed. Definitely for that full horoscope consultation is required, link are in description, but generally I'm talking about, okay? So see, because of Mars in the second house, your speech can be harsh. Listener will not able to make out the meaning or the sense of what the native, or I can say you are saying, okay? So that can be seen over here. So just try to please see, I am just adding some point important over here, because I want you guys to feel like happy also, like some good things about like the placement over here I'm telling, but at the same time I'm adding some like the important points so that you can understand that okay, I have moon Mars in the second house, so maybe my speech sound harsh to the other people, so maybe I just try to I have this knowledge, I have this wisdom that I am able to learn from these videos, so now I have to control myself, okay? You must need to use your intelligence. Now you just try to reduce the harshness. I know that it's really hard because Mars is there, but still you can do that if you just like you are just try to be like very just try to understand and just try to implement these things in your life. That's why I'm just adding that Mars is here, so it can give you a bit harsh speech. So if you feel that yes, it happened to me sometime, I speak to other people, they may not feel good or something like that, then just try to reduce the harshness, okay? That is the beauty of astrology, that you can learn your problems of your chart and just try to improve your habits, or like try to bring some change in your life so that it will be better for you, okay? The person like, or I can say you who have Mars in the second house could be fond of non-vegetarian food, okay? Definitely, until or unless like some other aspect, it can also possible that you have Mars in the second house and still you are not eating the non-vegetarian food. You can be vegetarian or vegan. That's where like the aspect, conjunction and other things like the plays their role, okay? Now although it's generally Mars in the second house, these guys are like non-vegetarian kind of a thing can be seen. uh Family, like your family could have, because of Mars in the second house, your family could have like engineers, athlete, martial artists and armed forces people, doctors like the surgeon etc, and people who are involved in adventurous activities like hiking, running, river rafting, bungee jumping, skydiving, drilling, engineering and all these kind of stuff can be seen. The family culture could be dominated by such Martian brotherly figures. Because of Mars in the second house of your family may have domination of like the Martian kind of a person. Okay, Mars aspect, like by sitting over here in the second house, it aspects the eighth house. Okay, now because of this aspect on the eighth house from the second house, by Mars sitting in the second house, it aspect the eighth house, it can make you bold and brash. In which things? In occult, taboo, or like hidden activities like sexual pleasures, tantras, psychic power, all these kind of a thing. It make you a very bold personality. Mars could make one like a spicy or like a non-vegetarian food eater when it's placed in the second house. Um Definitely you have these kind of a taste. You love these kind of a food that can be seen. Now definitely if it's affecting your health, then just try to reduce that. Okay, and that's what that's why I'm just creating video, adding some. I've just spent so much time in finding, or like I can say just compiling the important point, and now just I'm just creating the video so that it can help you. Okay, I'm just trying to spread positivity and adding some like I can say the bad thing that you have. Like if you can just improve these things naturally. Okay, let's say you are eating non-veg, you have Mars in the second house a lot, and you are feeling that you have some problem due to that or something like that. Just try to reduce that. Or maybe if you can become, nowadays vegan culture is popular, just try to become vegan. That's really good. Guys, if Mars have like other bad aspect etc and a very bad place, then it can make you a very rude person also. So if you think that you are a rude person, then just definitely use your wisdom, try to reduce your rudeness and become more humble. Okay, the person should avoid the company of bad people. Now one more thing, now one important point I would like to tell over here to you. If you have Mars in the second house, listen to me carefully. It may possible that you somehow your friend circle you form will be like automatically you form a friend circle of a people who are not a good person. I don't know, like maybe you know or maybe you don't know that, maybe you are aware or maybe you are unaware. It may possible that those people are not good. Maybe they have some bad habit of like lots of drinking, smoking and non-veg or this and that stuff, like, or maybe they involve in some bad activities. So you're gonna have to be extremely careful, right, about that. Just try to avoid company of these people. Just try to be in the company of good people, because Mars in the second house, it is seen that it give you the company or like the friends, like which are these kind of people. If you have that, then use your wisdom, try to stay away from these people, try to build good friend, try to be in the company of people which are good, maybe vegan, maybe like who are in right path, not having the alcohol or cigarette and like smoking, all these kind of stuff. Just try to improve your life, become a better person. That's really a good advice for you. If you have Mars in the second house, you can take this advice as a remedy, because I am saying that strongly. Otherwise it can make your life worse also. I'm just saying you as a friend. Now Mars in the second house can give you benefit from the ancestral property. Okay, that can also be possible if it's like a well placed. Definitely it can make you a very confident, independent personality, a very ambitious human being you are, because of Mars in the second house. You may likes to participate in the competition. Like competition is like a loving thing for this person, because Mars is a competitive planet. The person with this yoga, or I can say Mars in the second house, can be confused about his aim in life. That can also be possible. Now you give importance to yourself, and you can be straightforward because of Mars in the second house. If you have Mars in the second house, so you are a kind of a person, it make you a kind of a person who do not like others interference in your work. Like for example, let's say you want to marry someone, then someone is coming and saying you, hey, you must not marry that person because he's from different community, he's from different religion, and he's from different country, and this and that. Hell, some bullshit people are there in this world who just try to give you bullshit advice, even then you don't ask. I really don't like this kind of a person. So you are a kind of a person who do not like this, who do not like interference of other people in your life actually. Okay, now see guys, I really like your quality, this quality of yours, that you do not like interference in of other people in your life, I really like it. Because see, it's your life, you can do whatever you want. So but definitely you just try to be on the right path. You must have to make sure that you make decisions of your own life, like that's really good thing. And definitely you must, like, we have to make sure that as a human being that we must not interfere in others life. If that happen as a human being, then it's really a good thing. But the good thing about you is that you do not like other people to interfere in your life. That's really good. Now Mars in the second house, due to Mars in the second house, you may think a lot about how to increase your income, right? And you are driven to make money. Okay, money is quite important for you. In some cases you earn through difficult or through like the difficult jobs also, guys. Okay, it make you a very assertive person in terms of like the communication. It can make you assertive a bit. uh Now see, guys, if it's like a very badly placed, then it can make you a very blunt or like a direct saying on the face kind of a person, very harsh speaker. So what I can say or I can advise is try to reduce that, try to be little bit humble. Okay, I would like to tell you, when you have Mars in the second house, you should strive to see the other person point of view, and should refrain from arguing what other try to incite. Okay, see, I would like to tell you that, because Mars in the second house, so you may kind of a person who is really blunt saying anything. And let's say you may be in some verbal argument, so just try to at least listen to other person. Just try to you know be humble. Next time if you have some verbal argument with anyone and you are very harsh, then please keep my word in your mind that just try to reduce that harshness. Okay, try to be more very like a sweet spoken kind of a thing. Just try to be more humble, because see, if you don't do that, then this Mars will I can say that definitely you will have a voice, or I can say you will have a speech which is like a cutthroat kind of a speech can be seen. So that's why I'm again and again adding, just do not try to use harsh speech. Okay, avoid arguments, etc., if you can, and listen to other person's point of view also. Now Mars in the second house, sometime it is seen that it may give a little bit facial scars, etc., can also be seen in on your face. uh Definitely it give you tendency, I already told you, like non-veg, etc., it can give you like the tendency to eat poor food, like poor quality, which is why I already told you what poor food is. Mars give its full effect in the 28th year, so you have to be careful in the 28th years. Because if let's say it is like the you must have to be careful whether it's like a good place or bad place. Because in your 28th year, if let's say it is goodly place, like it is well placed in your chart, and in the second house it is placed very good, then definitely it will give you good thing, money, etc. If let's say it's bad placed, then you have to be careful about like the any kind of problems that you have in your life. So in 28th year, just careful while driving car, bike, etc., any vehicle. Careful while arguments, etc., try avoid your any arguments, especially if you are in your 28th year, or if you are like your 28th year, whenever you will be in your 28th year, just try to avoid that. And if you have Mars in the second house, so I am just giving you a very these are like some remedies, general remedies. I am just remedies are not only just like you do this and you do that. These are also remedies that you understand. That's the best thing about astrology. You understand that I have this placement and these are the side effects, so I can just improve my knowledge, etc., and just try to control myself so that I can avoid unnecessary conflict in my life. Okay, so I'm just giving you these things. So guys, this is all about Mars in the second house. I hope this helps. And now let's move on to our next point, which is Mercury in the second house. Now guys, what will gonna happen when you have Mercury in the second house? When Mercury occupies the second house, then usually you earn by the trades and commerce. Okay, any trade, like the e-commerce kind of a thing can also be seen. Buying and selling stuff, business activity, or maybe you maybe earn money through speaking, lecturing, guiding people. Okay, meaning you do something in which the communication skills is involved, like the soft skills is definitely required in that kind of a profession, or soft skills like communication skills related work you will involve when you have Mercury in the second house. Now Mercury in the second house makes the person affluent and intelligent. Okay, that's the good thing about Mercury. You may have sweet and soft speaking, uh, and like little bit with a bit of humor in it, like the way you speak. Like for example, I do not have Mercury in the second house, although I have other planets, but um, like the way I just try to improve, like just the way I add some funny thing in between the serious talks. So that kind of a nature can also be seen because of Mercury influence on the second house, or like a Mercury is in the second house. Okay, now it make you a very sweet and soft speaking person. uh, and also there are like the deeds are religious, and it make you inclined towards charity, donation, helping the needy person, and like the ethically molded kind of a thing can be seen. You are ethically molded. Okay, now you may earn money cleverly and wisely because Mercury is there, right? And Mercury is intelligence, so that's why you may earn money cleverly and wisely. There's a good position, right? For financial matter, since Mercury has the acumen to quickly digest numbers, speech, text, and make logical sense out of any given information. So that's why in terms of financial matter, it's really a good position. Mercury over here can give you logical abilities also. Okay, now when it comes to the learning and articulation with one speech, like your speech, then the person, or I can say you, can be a great storyteller, right? You can be a great storyteller. Like some people tell you a story in such a craft, a story in such a great way that you can literally listen their full story and it feel really fantastic. So that kind of abilities can also be seen. It can make you a good storyteller. Mercury in the second house give a person a larger family of accountant, businessmen, lawyers, or people who are somehow involved in commerce, like your family, your father, your brother, sister, etc. can be in these field. If you have Mercury in the second house, there are high chances of that. Mercury in the second house make a person uh, what I can say, value business acumen and skills of negotiation using the speech, right? That's quite important when conjunct with the planet like Venus, or so it can give a pleasant voice. And also Mercury Venus in the second house sometime can make you a singer also. You can sing very well, that can also be seen. Now again, when it's aspected or like conjunct by let's say Mars, that it can drive one towards engineering, computer, electronics, mechanical skills of trade. Okay, when you have Mercury in the second house, so you and your family are comfortable in handling money, wealth. So it is also symbolized by a merchant. Okay, when Mercury in the second house, Mercury likes. Now when you have Mercury in the second house, then you may like eating varied stuff. Like you love variety in food, you like different varieties. Like someday you are like sweet food, someday you are like cold food, someday you're like hot food, someday it's like a very salty. So variety can be involved when Mercury in the second house in terms of food. Also Mercury is the planet or like a carca of green leafy vegetable. So it may also possible that person may like to eat like the vegetable etc lot in their diet and may have varied taste. Mercury being adaptable by nature, Mercury is a planet which is adaptable by nature. The taste is dependent on the planet aspecting or conjunct Mercury, because see Mercury adapt other quality also. So it's like a let's say Jupiter is aspecting that, so it's like a very sattvic kind of a thing. Okay, let's say Venus is there aspecting etc, then maybe person is more inclined towards sweet. So these things can be seen. If Mercury is located in the second house, then the person is kind and generous in nature. Okay, the person is definitely intelligent and efficient. Okay, because of Mercury in the second house. Definitely Mercury in the second house can give you interest in organizing and managing events. uh, you can work interactively and systematically because of Mercury in the second house. When Mercury's place in the second house, it make you kind of a person who increases his wealth through his intellect. Okay, that means you will increase your wealth by using your intelligence, your intellect. Okay. uh, Definitely Mercury in the second house show that you will definitely progress continuously in your life. Again, I am adding that these are like general thing. When it's like a good place for detailed analysis, full horoscope consultation is required, which links are in description of website our website. Mercury in the second house is like the best position for writing, teaching, speaking, and all communication activities. The person is very witty and uses word very well. Right, Mercury in the second house can make you a very witty kind of a person in terms of speech, and they know how to play with the words. Okay. You will be a learned and a knowledgeable person, and definitely have a fine education when you have Mercury in the second house. You become well versed in many different areas and can write on almost any subject when you have Mercury in the second house. When Mercury in the is placed in the second house, then the person will likely be a teacher or writer. There are high chances of that. You may also have talent in poetry, writing, etc. And I already told you that if Mercury Venus is there, then like singing can also be seen, depending upon other factor. Also, the person will also speak softly and sweetly when you have Mercury in the second house. Other will enjoy listening to him, because see, Mercury is like a very good speaker, very good communicator. So like they literally, when they speak, people literally get mesmerized, because of this. uh, Definitely he can have excellent imaginations. And it may also possible that when you have Mercury in the second house, then you can speak several languages. Okay, it can also be seen. uh, you can speak Hindi, English, German, French, Russian, Portuguese, Italian, right, and Norwegian maybe, and lot of other languages. The people is very creative about the ways to make money. Like you may make money through different creative sources like blogging, and maybe like the video creation, and like the creative ways can also be seen in terms of making money when Mercury is placed in the second house. uh, you earn by using your intellect or media and become a wealthy person. Mercury in the second house generally give you a very happy family life, and you will definitely eat good food. If the sixth house, the house of like the health, happen to be strong and prominent, then the person become a counselor, psychologist. Okay, like the healing other people through speaking, that can be seen. Okay, when Mercury in the second house and sixth house is strong, the person may enjoy metaphysical subjects due to the aspect of Mercury. Uh, which Mercury throws on the eighth house by sitting in the second house. It show that when Mercury sit in the second house, it throw a seventh aspect on the eighth house. So it show that you may have interest in metaphysical subjects, etc. That can also be seen. The planetary aspect also help with inheritance, pension, and other unearned money. Okay, because on the eighth house also represent all these kind of a things. So that's why. So Mercury give its full effect on the 32nd year. Okay, when you will be like in the 32nd year of your life, then it will give full effect. If it's like a good place, then definitely you will have good money by different sources. You will earn money. Okay, so at that time there may be rise of wealth can be seen. uh, so guys, this is all about Mercury in the second house. Now let's move on to our next planet, which is Jupiter. Guys, what will gonna happen when Jupiter is placed in the second house? See guys, when Jupiter is placed in the second house, it makes a person good astrologer. Okay, it can make a person good poet, it can make a person good writer, or even expert in scientific studies. Scientist, researcher, like the data scientist, data analyst can also be seen, right, when Jupiter is placed in the second house. Now guys, Jupiter in the second house is like the fortunate position most of the time. It avoids like the quarrel and the confrontations. Okay, the person who is having the Jupiter in the second house, definitely avoid any quarrel, etc. Definitely show that if you have Jupiter in the second house, then you will be successful in endeavors and undertakings, and a great positive thinker kind of a personality can be seen when Jupiter is there in the second house. It usually give you a very magnetic personality and like the influential aura. You have a very influential aura that can be seen when you have Jupiter in the second house. But definitely it can give you, like it is seen that like a fatty body or like obesity, or sometime like little bit fat more on your body can be seen when Jupiter in the second house. So you have to be aware if you have Jupiter right there. Keep observing your, like what you are eating and doing exercise etc regularly. It's really important. Okay, see, that's the beauty about the astrology, that you can just learn astrology and just see that okay, these are the flows in my chart, and then you can just learn, okay, these are the things that I have. Now I'm gonna have to just work on these things, and I'm gonna have to just understand that okay, these are my problem. Now I have to work on it and make my life better. That's the beauty of astrology. Okay, that's what I love about it. Jupiter is the Karka of education, or I can say Karka means significator. So Jupiter is the significator of education, finance, management, okay, and it is a Guru, which means teacher, okay, of Devtas. Teacher, or I can say like the teacher is not a good word, actually professor, right, like of Devtas, okay. Or like I can say Jupiter in the second house can give you a very loud voice. Okay, one could be born in a family of gurus, like one, you can be born in the family of a professors. Your father, mother, etc can be teacher or professor, that can also be seen. Okay, or maybe they are like some kind of a consultant, preacher, or like a religious figures, like some good religious figure, your father or mother, or like other, like your family have lots of these people, teachers, professors, consultant, preacher, religious persons, some divine figures can be seen when you have Jupiter in the second house. When you have Jupiter in the second house, it may possible that you may have a spiritual family, right, like, and like they have a very spiritual kind of a belief, that can also be seen. When Jupiter in the second house, the person could be born in a preachy environment, or like a preacher oneself, like you could also be a preacher, that can also be possible because Jupiter in the second house. Jupiter being the significator of knowledge and the wisdom, one would traditionally value both these qualities, and this could be enforced through the family also. Okay, now see what I'm just trying to say, that Jupiter is the significator of knowledge and wisdom. So whether you already have naturally have this knowledge and wisdom kind of a qualities, or whether you're just family just put these qualities in you, right? Like for example, some people naturally have such a great wisdom when they speak. I have seen some kids, like actually I'm just giving, let me just tell you very clearly, I have seen a chart of a kid randomly. Okay, although it's like it's in my relative, so I just like curiously see that, because he's such a nice kid. Generally kids are very notorious etc, but actually I have seen something in his chart, and definitely because of Jupiter placement and aspect etc, and Jupiter, he's also going through the Jupiter Mahadasha in the beginning, and Jupiter is well placed and also aspecting other good places. So that's why he has very good, like the very philosophical way of describing thing, right? And even if, like let's say you have no planet in the second house, then you're gonna have to see that if Jupiter Rashi or Jupiter sign is falling in your second house, then you can also see this kind of a thing. Okay, so he has such a nice way that when he speak, like my god, it feel like as if some professor, some preacher, some teacher, someone is explaining, or someone is describing thing. It feels so nice to listen to that 7-year-old kid, right? So this is because of the blessing of the Jupiter. Okay, and on the other hand, his little, or I can say his younger brother is going through the Rahu Mahadasha from the day he was born. So he, my god, is really a destructor. He do not listen to anyone from the childhood. Very, although the younger one is like very like I guess around 3-4 year olds, and the elder one is around 7-year-old. So elder one is going through Jupiter Mahadasha, is really a fantastic person. When you listen to that, you feel like you are getting some wisdom from that child. So that's because of Jupiter. Then after seeing the chart, I was like, oh my god, it is all the blessing of Jupiter. So guys, since Jupiter stands for the law, one could be born in a family of lawyer also. Okay, you may have some lawyer related work, like person who is doing some law related work also in your family. That can also be possible. From a wealth perspective, Jupiter normally expand wealth. Okay, and is the significator of assets and saving also. Okay, so in the second house it's really like generally expanded. One more thing, Jupiter association in the second house, or I can say Jupiter in the second house, may make you like a person who may have large array of books or a library handed down by the family generation. These things can also be seen because of Jupiter over here. uh, or like Jupiter is, let's say, aspecting even your second house, then it may possible that you yourself purchase a lot of book, and you may make a little like different cover, a very almirah or something like that, or a shelf where you have lots of book, right? You may have self-help book, and I can literally relate to myself also about this, because I have that aspect on the second. So due to which I have a lots of like self-help book about different topics of life. Like I love to read them. So the position of Jupiter in the second house make the person a good businessman also. That's really a good thing. If you would like to know that yes, Jupiter in the second house can make you a good businessman also. You should be careful while borrowing money from others, because like uh, you may face some financial problem in that case also. Because see, Jupiter if sitting in the second house, it can give you wealth, etc. But if you are borrowing some money and you have Jupiter in the second house, then you must need to be uh, careful, guys. That's what I can tell you. Okay, because you may face financial problem due to borrowing money. Okay, now the person should try to control his expenses when you have Jupiter in the second house. You can also understand that, although I think everyone is just try to control that. But still, if you feel that I'm not able to control my expenses and you have Jupiter in the second house, then it's like a red alert for you. Just try to control them now somehow. Okay, whether you have to uninstall some applications like online purchasing application from your phone, because if they have in your phone, then they are designed to make you purchase more and more, right? Because they send you some notification, etc. Okay, and like this offer and that offer. Now this yoga is auspicious. This yoga, that means Jupiter in the second house, is auspicious and may support you to increase your wealth, happiness and respect. Okay, due to this position of Jupiter in the second house, you may become a poet or a philosopher also. Okay, Jupiter in the second house make person actually rich easily. Okay, if it's like a well aspected, well placed, then it can make you rich easily. That can also be seen. You can do well in money matters, because Jupiter aspect throw on to the 8th house. The person can succeed in banking or managing money of others. That can also be seen. Okay, the person is knowledgeable and gets a fine education because of Jupiter in the second house. Now you may be an eloquent speaker and people enjoy listening to you. Okay, you may be truthful, charitable and virtuous also, because Jupiter in the second house. Now when Jupiter in the second house, generally these guys do not use any harsh speech or like bad language, but definitely full horoscope analysis is required to see other like conjunction aspect, etc. But generally they do not use harsh or like bad language or bad speech. uh, Jupiter in the second house can give you a very beautiful face, and family life is the source of happiness for these guys. And the person do not engage in domestic quarrels when you have Jupiter in the second house. You may have a very fine imaginations, and definitely Jupiter in the second house, if you have, and then there are high chances that you eat very good food, you avoid alcohol, drugs and any non-veg, etc. Because Jupiter is on your second house. And even if Jupiter is influencing your second house, then it can also give you that wisdom that you avoid these kind of bad food. But again, conjunction aspect, etc. change things. I'm just telling you, the person has an excellent memory if you have Jupiter in the second house. uh, it may also possible when you have Jupiter in the second house, you may be finest of Hindu Vedic astrologers, because your ability to memorize astrological yogas, that is planetary union, you may have good ability of memorizing that. Also it make you a person like who do well with the metaphysical subject, because of aspect of Jupiter throw, that is throws on the 8th house. When Jupiter sit in the second house, it throw its 7th aspect on the 8th house, due to which you can do good in metaphysical subjects. Okay guys, the person is favored with longevity, good appearance, that can also be seen because of Jupiter in the second house. Because of Jupiter in the second house, work and career are greatly favored due to Jupiter aspect from second house to the 6th house and the 10th house. See, when Jupiter sit on the second house, it aspects 6th house from its 5th aspect, it will aspect 8th house from its 7th aspect, and it will also aspect 10th house from its 9th aspect. Okay, so due to which work and career are like greatly favored by Jupiter. Due to this, like Jupiter in the second house, you may gain money from wills, legacies, pensions, insurance company, because Jupiter is throwing aspect obviously on 8th house, its 7th aspect, due to which it show that you can gain through these legacies, will, pension, etc. Jupiter will give its full effect on the 16th year of your life. When you are 16-year-old, like it had already given you, maybe you may be past 16 already, I think, most of you. And at that time, if Jupiter is like well placed, then in the 16th year you may seen some, or you may have seen already some good effects. So my dear boys and girls, this is all about Jupiter. Now let's move on to our next planet, which is my favorite, Venus. Guys, my favorite planet in the second house. So if you have Venus in the second house, then definitely you are like little bit like me. When Venus in the second house, then usually indicate that you will be wealthy and healthy in life. Now you may have Venus in the second house and you may have some problems like health problem. That's because maybe 6th house have some planet, or like Rahu is influencing something and other things also. But generally Venus in the second house indicate that definitely you will have good money and good health, right? Generally it's like a good. Also Venus in the second house give person a very beautiful appearance that can be seen 100%. I can tell you, when you have Venus in the second house, it's like a blessing of the god. Thanks to God, because you have Venus in the second house, people will appreciate you for your handsomeness or for your beauty. I can tell you literally. So thank you God for this placement. Okay, you must have to say that. Native voice will be extremely sober, and they're very, very like attractive, very charismatic like mine. Although obviously because other like influence of other planets etc will give some authority, like for example, like I also have like sun influence, due to which I have some authority also in my voice. Okay, so generally, but Venus in the second house will give you a speech which is like a very voice which is like a soothing, like very soft, very relaxing kind of a thing can be seen, my dear boys and girls, on Venus in the second house. Money comes to you like with very less effort. Definitely you put little bit effort and you will find the way to make money. If you have Venus in the second house, you should say thank you to God again. Usually you make money like this, somehow female involvement is there. Like let's say for example, you are doing some work, so like you are let's say you are a doctor, so you may see that you may become a doctor in which you have to deal with the female clients more in comparison to the male, or maybe somehow destinies make a situation in which you will have more female clients. It can also possible. Okay, because of Venus over here. It may possible that you make money through like females related work, like female cosmetic, female clothes, female anything, undergarments or anything like that. Okay, so female related stuff can be seen, you can make money through that. Definitely if you have Venus in the second house, then your spouse will be extremely beautiful and very nice, cultured, and very good women. Okay, when you have Venus in the second house, it show a very beautiful spouse, and you yourself is very handsome and beautiful, and your spouse will also be. uh, you will be gentle, skillful, sober, and a very nice person. You may avoid unnecessary argument. You just speak very softly. You do not speak harshly. You have nice qualities in terms of speech. Okay. Overall, it's really a nice placement when you have Venus in the second house, because naturally, as per zodiac, like the sign, as per Kalpurusha, Venus is in the second house. It's like in its own house, because second house it's Venus own house. So that's why Venus feel comfortable over here. Okay, that's why it's called to be as generally good placement. A second house Venus could make the voice pleasing and sensual. Like my voice is sensual, my dear beautiful girl and boys. So it makes you like very sensual kind of voice when you have Venus in the second house. The person loves acquiring knowledge, fine arts, like music, maybe singing songs and treasures, and treasure finding, and a lot of things can be involved. Like you may love singing songs and music, etc., because Venus in the second house. Okay. um, the family lineage could be involved in artistic pursuit, in finance, in banking sector, in foods, fruits, flowers, architecture, or diplomacy. When you have Venus in the second house, maybe your father, your brother, etc., can be involved in these, like profession related to these things, maybe banking, maybe flower, maybe fruit, food, or like any kind of these industries can be seen. Okay. So I personally relate to that again, so I'm just telling you it's really, exact thing. Now guys, I would like to tell you more. Is like Venus is the karka, or like the significator of relationship, pleasure, sensuality, uh, like the product you use on your fair, etc., dentist, surgeon, etc., can also be seen. Venus in the second house, so you may be involved in these things, or someone in your family can also involve in these things. Now when you have Venus in the second house, it may possible that your family may love holding artistic things, jewelry, something related to fine arts, painting, jewels, fine oils, perfume, scent, or you yourself like to have collection, like I have personally collection of perfumes, expensive ones also, paintings, decorating my home, all these kind of thing. I love it. So Venus in the second house will give you that. Now guys, when Venus is there in your second house, since Venus stands for sweet things, so you may love eating sweet things. Okay. So in comparison to other things, you may love to eat good food, and you are more inclined towards sweet things, sweet food. Okay. And also maybe someone in your family can also be, but especially you are inclined towards sweet related, like sweet food, etc., more. Now Venus, basically, in the second house, if your Venus is placed in the second house, that it make you a person who may have uh, beautiful face, amazing beautiful eyes, nice hairs, and a very good speech. Like your speech will be really pleasing, right? And normally they do financially well in their life. Okay, but obviously we have to see other things also, like if how the planet is placed and all these kind of stuff. But generally it is seen that when Venus is there in the second house, so these guys generally do good in their life. When Venus is placed in the second house, it is also seen that you are able to increase your wealth and prestige in the society. Okay guys, so this is also uh, like another noticeable point. It make you a person who may earn through the profit, like the through businesses. So you may also do your own business if you have Venus in the second house, although it's not the confirmation, it's just a random thing. See, they are saying business because business over here is related, because Venus in the second house is like a good in terms of money. It show that you may have a good money. So generally job, in comparison to the job or business definitely have good money. I'm not saying in terms of like today, if you become the, let's say, CEO of some big company, then definitely in job you can earn very good money, but still generally majority of, if you are doing business, then you can earn really huge money. That's why they relate Venus in the second house related to some business. It make you as a very smart person, but a bit emotional and sensitive by nature. Yes, although you can be good, funny, or like a very attractive face, etc., but from deep inside you are very emotional person. Maybe person are not, people are not able to notice that. Okay, and I'm telling you myself, you can be a very emotional person from inside. Okay, um, and very pure hearted person also. And he, Venus in the second house can also make you a person who is like a responsible towards his family and your family needs. That can also be seen. Now if Venus in the second house, then it make you a wealthy definitely, and money comes with less efforts. That can be seen. You have to put effort, but in comparison to other placements it's like a good generally. Okay, uh, definitely you love money, possession, collectibles, like having the collection of maybe perfume, watches and clothes, etc., can be seen. Okay, definitely I can tell you that uh, you can be work in banking sector also, or handling people, other people's money. That can also be seen. Again and again, one more thing, like beautiful face, handsome personality can be seen. You will speak softly, sweetly, and may become a poet, a songwriter, and can have a great imagination and memory. Family life is a source of joy for you. Okay, family life, your family life is a source of joy for you. The person never quarrels or engages in domestic arguments. When you have Venus in the second house, it make you a human being who never want to engage in fight, etc. Generally these guys try to avoid that, because of definitely in fight you can have to use some harsh voice, and they have really sweet voice. They are sweet person, so they generally avoid arguments and fights. uh, you are a knowledgeable person, and you will have a good education if you have Venus in the second house. uh, Now definitely if you have Venus in the second house, then money may be acquired through the dealing with the arts, jewelry, sweets, clothing, and other beautiful objects. Like the beauty is important, and definitely Venus is also women, generally it represent women, so you can do business of women related stuff. Okay, women clothes, women undergarments, women jewelry, women cosmetics, anything related to women. Okay, the person eat healthy food. When Venus in the second house, then definitely you just become conscious. Maybe you are not conscious when you are kid, but as soon as you grow, definitely if you have Venus in the second house, you will become more and more conscious about eating like the healthy food. That can be seen, but bit inclined towards sweet. That can also be seen. You will be charitable and virtuous person. That can again be good. And it show that if other like obviously it's good, then person generally don't lie. He's really a nice person who don't lie, right? Good kind of a person can be seen, virtuous, charitable by nature. Guys, see Venus in the second house aspect eighth house by its seventh aspect. So it show that not only you are lucky in terms of money, etc., but also you earn money through unearned means. Okay, like for an example, you may earn through wills, legacies, inheritance, or anyhow you can just literally find some treasure. That can also be possible in your life. uh, you may be a person who maybe also can be psychic or enjoy metaphysical things, hidden subject like this astrology, etc., can also be seen. When Venus in the second house, you may have interest in these things, or you may also sometime earn from these things. And definitely when you will be in your 25th year, then this Venus will show its good effect. Like at that year maybe you have good earning, or maybe something good related to that. So that can be seen. So guys, this is all about Venus in the second house. Now let's talk about Saturn. uh, what will gonna happen when Saturn is placed in your second house? See, Saturn, when placed in the second house, it can make you a stingy person. Okay, how you hold money is by being stingy. That's what it show when Saturn in the second house. This could also be your family trend. It may also possible because of Saturn over here. Saturn in the second house can give you a home environment, or I can say attitude from the family, which could be strict, disciplined, or I can say restrictive in general. That's really a thing. And personally I would like to share something I have seen. When you have Saturn in the second house, no matter how good or bad it plays, definitely in the early phases, early stages of your life, maybe when you are child, in your childhood, when you were like when you was kid, uh, when you were kid, definitely maybe you have some poor problem with your family. Maybe your family do not have good financial condition, or maybe some you do not have, I can say, like you have lots of restrictions, or like I can say strictness in family, that can be seen generally. Now if it's like a good placement, other aspect etc is there, or Venus is placed well right there, then once, like as soon as they grow, these guys, their age, they become more and more older, then uh, their life will become amazing. And if it's really well placed Saturn over here, then in the later part of your life, second half of your life, I can say after pretty much about 30 or 36, to be more specific, after 36, they will have fantastic huge amount of money also. That can also be seen if it's really a good, if it's good place. Okay, but in the beginning there are high chances that it may give you a problem in the early stages of your life. Okay, now under favorable circumstances, Saturn, whenever it sit, wherever it sit, it can cause a stepmotherly, or I can say outcast treatment given by the person for the house matter, given by the person for the house matters. Okay, uh, like in this case it could also be like the stepmotherly treatment from the family in general, or like separation from the family in the early life. It can also possible that if you have Saturn in the second house, that maybe you just go away from your family, live away from your family in some other place to some work and something like that, away from the family can be seen. See, I'm not saying that in Saturn in the second house give you Saturn, stepmother, that's really a different thing, but I'm saying stepmother kind of attitude from by the family. That means your family, somehow you feel like it's not my family, they are not good, like you may feel that yeah, they are not behaving good with me. So that kind of a thing with the family can be seen because of Saturn placement over here. uh Now guys, and definitely it can also separate you from your family, and you will live apart from your family in the early stages of your life. I would like to know if you have Saturn in the second house, then share your experience in the comment section below. I would love to read that. um, See guys, sometime if it's like a badly afflicted, then it can make you a liar also, right? These guys can speak like lie, they can just fool people, that can also be seen. Now they can be little bit harsh in speech, and if afflicted, then definitely it can give like a stammering, or like a problem in speaking, like not able to speak properly, that kind of a thing can also be seen. See, if you have some problem related to this, like you may be like a harsh speaker and all these kind of stuff, and you have said in the second, then just try to avoid that. Try to increase more like a humbleness in your nature, reduce harshness, because see, humbleness is the best thing that you can have. And just try to become a pure soul. And that is the beauty of astrology. Then you can just learn that I have this placement, there are high chances that I may have this problem, these are my strength. So just try to improve your strength, just try to reduce your problems, or I can say your whatever your like the bad thing that you have. So that's what I would like to talk about. Now let's just go ahead. If you have Saturn in the second house, then native will not be at ease in mixing with the people or socializing. Unpopular among communities can be seen. See, it can it can possible that because of Saturn over here, it can, like it could be difficult for you to mix in a society, or let's say you go to a party, so it may possible that you just sit alone or stand apart from the people. Some people you can see, they are like a jolly kind of individual, they just laugh with each other, they just go here and there, they are like Mercury or like Venus, and that kind of attractive people. But you are kind of a person who's like a bit, I can say, little bit isolated kind of a thing can be seen, or these things can generally be seen. So just try to reduce these things, just try to socialize more. That's what I would like to tell you. If you have Saturn in the second, Saturn in the second house, then early livelihood uh, is tough, for native. Definitely, I already told you. When Saturn in the second house, so it may also possible that you can earn while dealing with labor, servant, doing some kind of metal work, storage, leather, mine, etc. So these kind of a work, maybe in the early stages or somewhere in the life, you, due to some problem, you can have to just work over here. That can also be possible. In general, unless Saturn is making some good yoga, the person will find his family as an obstacle or hoarding. Uh, you know, wealth or hindrance in terms of attaining basic education. See, uh, in general, until Saturn is like a very good placement over here, generally Saturn placement in the second house, person I have seen, they find some problem somehow. They just have some problem with their family, whether they would not like to live with their family because of some issues right there, or just they do not have good thing with their family. I have seen that. If Saturn is good place, then things are different. Okay. I would love to share, like, listen your experience. Just share your thoughts about if you have Saturn in the second house in the comment. I would love to read them. Now, Saturn in the second house can also make you look little bit more age than you have. Okay, that can also be possible. And you may have curly hair also because of Saturn in the second house. That can also be possible. Uh, Now, because of Saturn in the second house, you may like some cold or dry food. Okay, or like the heavy kind of a food. Uh, Due to which you may feel slow and sluggish. Okay, because Saturn is a slow moving planet, so due to which it influences you in such a way that you eat such a kind of a food which will make you little bit lazy. That can also be possible. So what is the good thing to do over here, or like I can say, what's the advice by me to you, is just try to avoid these kind of food which will make you lazy, or like which increase this lethargicness in your body. Just try to be active, do more exercise. Okay, as when Saturn is placed in the second house, it may possible that your family wealth come from agriculture, land, farming, labor, construction, mining like coal, iron, petroleum, metal, diamond, etc. It can also be possible, or like a dead things like leather, etc. Okay. uh, and also definitely one's wealth come later in life through like the saving, etc. Like, what I would like to tell you, that your family wealth may come from these fields, like from other field can also be possible, but Saturn, because here can significate that there maybe come from the field that I discussed, just discussed with you. But definitely in the later part of your life you will have like good saving money, etc. But in the early life you will definitely struggle. The position of Saturn in the second house could make you a person who is hard working, but like even working very hard you may get less result. But see, we can you must believe in the Lord Krishna. What Lord Krishna say, you must have to believe in what Lord Krishna say. They say that you're gonna have to just keep putting efforts, keep working. What will be the outcome, what will be the result? Well, that depends upon your destiny. All you can do is just work with dedication. Okay, just use some smartness, keep working, and then just leave rest on the destiny. Okay, that's what I would like to tell you. uh, Definitely in the childhood it can give you economic problem also, financial problems also. But again I am telling that once, as soon as your life you will become older, your financial problem will be reduced. Because Saturn in the second house sometime can make you hesitant also in expressing your thought. That can also be possible. You can take wise decisions in the money matter. That can also be possible. Saturn in the second house, maybe you afraid of taking risk in the business, right? Now again, if like the good placement, etc. is there, somehow good aspect is there, conjunction, then things will change. And definitely in the later part of your life, especially after 36, Saturn start to, I can say, like the Saturn, the thing Saturn restrict in the early life na. As soon as you grow older, it will start to lose that, and it will give you opportunities, so definitely in the later part you can earn good money. uh, Now again, if Saturn is the place with the malefic planet or having malefic influence, then it can make you a bit lazy also, and make you a person who will leave work incomplete. So that's really problem. Now, uh, so if you have this, then just try to avoid that. Just try to complete your work, do some exercise, eat right food, so that you will not become lazy. Guys, in some cases, right, in some cases it can also be seen that if let's say some benefic aspect, etc. is there in some special cases, then Saturn is placed in the second house, then the person may gain big money through inheritance. But it is possible generally in some rare cases. Okay, Saturn is a planet of karma. And when Saturn is placed in the second house, so it may also possible like the uh, you know some primary education etc can also suffer, or like your education may also suffer. Okay. And you may have interrupted schooling, that can also be possible. uh, Sometime it can give you diseases like related to mouth, teeth, or little bit related to right eye, so you're gonna have to be careful about that. Okay guys. uh, Now when Saturn is placed in the second house, the positive side is that the person may earn wealth through business, and like the business that deal with the coal, wood, metal, mining, and hard labor. So some business related to these stuff, you can earn, like if Saturn is there. So you know so guys, mining etc, like, or refinery, oil, all these kind of stuff that are related to Saturn, so you may also earn through that. Now some in some cases Saturn in the second house can also allow you to earn money through real estate, that can also be possible. Now Saturn in the second house can make you a person who is like having a long life, like the long lived person, because Saturn obviously aspect the eighth house by its seventh aspect when it sit in the second house, so it may give you good longevity, that can also be seen. Now, when Saturn in the second house, the person uses his energy conservatively and wisely. Now, guys, in some cases, like where Saturn become the yoga karka planet, or like the functional benefic, like the ruling planet, then definitely it can give you good effects. Like you can also see very good effect, when Saturn is here. So overall chart analysis is definitely required. uh, when Saturn is like in good position in the second house, if it's like a yoga karka, or like in some good position, having some good aspect in your chart, then definitely after 36th year of your life, once you turn 36, after that you will start to see that you will have good, kind of like I can say good money etc will start to come in your life. Okay. In the early stages, Saturn will definitely give you difficulty hold money, but as soon as you just pass the age of 30 and then maybe 36, then money will be really come easily to you. Not easily, but it's like a, in comparison to your early life, it will be better. uh, so guys, this is all about Saturn in the second house. Now let's talk about Rahu. In the second house. So, guys, what will gonna happen when Rahu is placed in the second house of your horoscope or your chart? So, position of the Rahu in the second house give influx of money, okay, through unethical or maybe unconventional sources, right? It may possible that you may earn from like some unconventional sources, like income can be like influx of money can be seen by, you know. Uh, Also it may also possible that you may earn money through some foreign connection, like some foreign related, maybe you do some work by which you have some foreign clients, or like some foreign company or something like that, because Rahu is a planet of foreign lands. So like a for foreign related things, Rahu involvement must be there. uh, so it is like a admired position for money matters. Okay. So it's good in terms of that. Although Rahu in the second house can also give like the fluctuation in the financial kind of a thing, but it all actually depend upon how it's placed, but generally it can be you can say that it's really good in terms of money, because suddenly it can give you some wealth, so that things can also be seen. But of course you can have to see what other placement, conjunction aspect etc are there. So for that, full horoscope analysis is required, and link is in description, my beautiful lady and my handsome boy. So now let's go ahead. Now guys, when you have Rahu in the second house, it can also be seen that you may have like very manipulative kind of a speech. Okay, it may possible that you can manipulate people by using your speech, or sometime if it's work like in a different way, then it can be you may abuse with the people. Okay. uh, Slangs amid conversations, and class of liar, if not benefic support is there, will definitely be exist. Like it can make you a person, I would like to tell you, who can be harsh and a very manipulative kind of a speaker. Now see, if manipulation is done by, like, you are just using for some good thing, then it's really okay. But if you are doing that, like for example, you see some people, they just manipulate people, just make people, other people fool, just for the sake of, thugging other people or doing something bad, then it's really bad, because definitely you're gonna have to suffer that later. If you do that something bad with someone, then it's really not good. So like my purpose is, I'm just telling you that these placements can you give you these things also. So just try to improve that. If you have these problems, just first of all accept them, that okay, I have this placement. Now you're gonna have to see, if you are feeling that yes, I have these problem, I am not able to speak properly, or I am really harsh or something like that, or I am a bit manipulative in terms of like these things, and other people don't like that, then just try to improve that. That's what I can say. uh it may also possible that you, because of Rahu in the second house, you may love to eat like non-vegetarian food, bad food, or like you may also drink, you may also smoke. So all these kind of stuff can be seen when Rahu is placed in the second house, that these people have this kind of a taste. So now if your health is affected, and you are drinking alcohol, you are smoking, you are taking this and that, like to the extreme, I would not like to discuss that, like anything bad, then just learn this thing what I'm telling to you, and just keep this in mind, that okay, I have Rahu in the second house, and I'm indulging into these activities, I'm eating all these kind of stuff, that's really bad for my body. Now there are two things. If you just keep eating these things, then you fall into that spiral in which you go deep and deep. Second thing is that you may have good intelligence, or you just try to think and spend some time, and you just at least try to reduce your consumption of these things. If you try to do that, then definitely it will be beneficial for you. Okay. uh, Now Rahu in the second house can make person lustful also. Okay. And easy pleasure seeking, with the influence of money to gratify senses tendency, can't be overlooked in the native. Okay, when Rahu is placed in the second house, so these things can also be seen. So although I don't consider these kind of a thing, if you have boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., you guys can just enjoy, pleasure, etc., is like you can have money, you can do like, that's not a bad thing. But like doing something wrong with someone else, or like saying harsh or bad word with others, is not good personally for me. Like I would like to advise you, and taking bad like alcohol, and lots of alcohol, eating lots of non-veg and bullshit food that will make your body harm, that's really dangerous for you. Because you are just if you keep doing that, you are just increasing the power of Rahu, and that's not good. So what I can advise, just try to control that, try to reduce the consumption of all these food. If you have boyfriend, girlfriend, and enjoy, that's not bad thing actually, that's okay. But uh what I would like to tell you, become a better person, right? Do not just drink unconsciously, because see, Rahu in the second can give you like, you do not even realize that how much drinking you are doing, or smoking you are doing, or you are eating bad food, and internally your body is like, literally damaged. So you're gonna have to just keep that in mind. Now Rahu in the second house can also give the native great desire of hoarding money, hoarding wealth, and becoming the beacon of one's family. Okay, or I can say the holder of family values, that can also be seen. Now Rahu in the second house may give you tendency that you want to acquire the family wealth and values, which may not look completely ethical. Okay, that can also be seen. uh, it may also possible that you may value foreign, like you have some foreign influence, foreign values, like you may love foreign culture, or maybe you can be born in some other family, like unusual different kind of family. Maybe it may also possible that your family have some foreign influence, like your mother can be from one country, your father can be from one country, like different country. Mother and father can also be seen when Rahu in the second house. Maybe you can make your family in the future in, some foreign connection, or maybe you love foreign brands, foreign related things can be inside you, that can also be seen. Okay. uh Round the second house, maybe it may possible that the family values would not be conventional in any way. Okay, that's really, because obviously Rahu is a planet who want to break the barriers, maybe wants to break the tradition of family, that kind of a thing can be seen. Now see, if Rahu is under favorable influence, then your voice will be mesmerizing. Okay, you speak in such a good way that people will feel right. Literally, the people will get mesmerized because you are like a, it's like a magic in your voice. But if it's working badly, then definitely people do not want to talk to you, or you talk in such a bad way. Personally, you feel that I am right, but for other people, they literally feel really bad for you. So just try, like they literally feel bad while talking to you. So I would like to tell you, if it's working negative for you, then just try to uh, increase more like a humbleness in your inside you. Okay, and just try to reduce it, and just try to reduce the harshness of your speech. Okay, that's what all I can advise you. How in the second house make you a person who look for status and recognition for his wealth and learning in his family. Okay, Rahu being a shadow planet, uh, it may possible that your taste of food may vary as per the environment, you know uh, you find. Okay, so although Rahu in the second house can give you all these kind of, very, I already discussed the non-veg and all these kind of stuff related, so you're gonna have to be careful about that. I'm adding again. So generally, the Rahu position in the second house can be considered auspicious for money matters. Whatever I'm speaking right now, I'm speaking with very like, careful attitude. I do not want to say anything that just make people psychologically feel bad, because definitely full horoscope analysis is required to see the big pictures. And uh, I'm just advising you something that's really important. If you do that in your life, then you will definitely get benefit of it. uh, Now guys, sometime it can also be seen when Rahu is placed in the second house, that then it is seen that investment in share market can sometime be good. Okay, but of course, depending upon other factor, we can have to see that it may possible that sometime, if Rahu is like a good placement, and other, like Rahu is in the second house in a good position, and other I can say that other planets etc is also supporting it, then investment will be good for you in a stock market. Okay, you can earn good money through that. Now sometime if it's working good, then you will get unexpected economic benefits from somewhere. Okay, that can also be seen. Now see, Rahu in the second house, then you need to control your expenses, uh, and should perform your work systematically, because see, Rahu's influence over here, and especially if you are going through the time period of Rahu, then it can make you very unsystematic. Like you may just sleep in the day and just wake up in the night. Like your routine will be almost like opposite, or I can say very disturbed. So just at least try to, I know that it's really hard in this time period, but just try to control that by using your intelligence. At least you can just at least try to put efforts. I know that it's really required a lot of efforts, but you're gonna have to put it to control yourself. uh, Now when Rahu in the second house is good, then definitely you are dedicated and focused towards your goal of your life. Again, there is one thing, it is again and again, when Rahu in the second house, then uh, like the food you eat, definitely like drink alcohol, take like the extreme of alcohol, and smoke, drugs etc can be seen. And definitely you consume large quantity of meat. So if you can avoid all these kind of non-vegetarian, or like at least reduce it, and avoid alcohol, smoking, then it's really good. Because if you just keep eating these more and more, then you are just not understanding that you are making thing more worst for you. At least you can just use your brain, your intelligence to control this, that okay, I have this placement, now I have to reduce. If I can become vegan, then I must have to become vegetarian or vegan, whatever I can. Or I must have to avoid non-veg, or like all these kind of smoking, or lots of alcohol etc. Okay, if even if you can reduce that, then it's really beneficial. uh, Definitely around the second house can also give you craving for the knowledge and information. You definitely search for different knowledge, this and that, and for information that can also be seen. Okay, again, the when Rahu is sitting to the second house, it aspect the sixth house and the 10th house. So these aspects are like the good for the work and the career of a person. Okay. Now the 6th and the 10th house are Upacha houses. So that can use malefic planetary energy beneficially. Okay. That can also be seen. So it's really a good for your, in terms of career, etc. Definitely, like the other things must have to be seen, but generally I'm talking about. So it may also possible that Rahu by its sitting over here in the second and giving aspect on the 6th and the 10th, you may also experience some fame and some recognition in your profession. Maybe you getting some kind of a fame can also be seen. Now Rahu will give its full effect in the 42nd year of your life. So when you will be like the 40 in your 42nd year of your life, then if it's working positively, it can give you good money, fame, etc. can also be possible. Okay, so this is all about, guys, Rahu in the second. Now let's talk about finally the Ketu. So what will gonna happen when Ketu is placed into your second house? So guys, when Ketu is placed in your second house, then the face of the person may be like you may look innocent, okay, or like a spiritual, very innocent or spiritual kind of a face can be seen, or even eccentric by worldly means. Okay, now you may have Ketu in the second house, and your face may not be innocent. That's what like the planetary conjunction aspect and other things plays the role. But generally Ketu in the second house can give you spiritual or like the very innocent kind of a face. Okay, now second house Ketu uh, can make like second house Ketu person may not be a good speaker. It can possible that you may not be good at speaking, or like, see, you may not be good in speaking and all these kind of stuff that can also be seen. Now I would like to know, if you have Ketu in the second house, do you like actually what happened where Ketu sit, it show that you have potential in the past life, you already achieved that. So maybe in the past life you may be a very good speaker, so that's why it show that you have like you have the strength of speaking, but somehow you feel like I do not need to, like maybe you speak less. That can also be seen, because let's say Ketu wherever sit, it somehow, I will soon create a video of like the Ketu in the different houses. I already created about the Rahu, you guys can check it. I will create about the Ketu also. Like let's say for example Ketu is sitting in the 11th house, then these guys have money, but they think like they are very careless about money, etc. They are like, okay, I won't, like they won't desire about love, education, and like reading books, children. Their obsession is where the Rahu is. Okay, that is in the 5th house when Ketu is in 11th. So in Ketu is in 11th, these guys generally don't care about money related matters. They are not hungry for money. In the same way, when Ketu in the second house is again the house of saving, etc. So these guys is definitely will be like little bit careless about these things, but also because it's like a speak kind of a house is over here in the second house, so maybe not a good speaker, not want to speak, that can be possible. Okay, now when Ketu in the second house, it may possible that you may get success in preaching, spirituality, navigation, mystical sciences, arts, serving industries such as hospitals, hospitality like the hotels, etc. Nevertheless, Jupiter influence can surely give a sign of relief to nature. Okay, that's what I am saying, that you may have Ketu, and generally Ketu is showing all these things, but again aspect conjunction will definitely mold and change you into a different person. I'm again saying that. Now see, Ketu in the second house is like a separative planet in the second house, so it can separate you from your family, or like disconnect you from the family. That can also be possible. So you may live away from your family. That can also be seen. It can also be possible. Okay. Now Ketu in the second house can give you a feeling of isolation, abandonment, separation, or like surrender when it comes to individual relationship with the larger family. So that can also be seen. Now when Ketu is in the 11th house, so your wealth of family like value should be determined by Ketu dispositor. Like, see, for Rahu Ketu, it is also important that you're gonna have to see where their lord is placed. Okay, so that's why the thing will change. But generally Ketu in the second house is there, so these things I'm talking about. But for seeing more things, see, in, let's say Ketu is placed in the, let's say you are a Gemini ascendant and Ketu is placed in the second house in the sign of Cancer, then you're gonna have to see where moon is placed. Okay, that like will tell you more. Okay, uh, now when the person is going to be wealthy and you have Ketu in the second house, he doesn't care. Like Ketu in the second house can give you good wealth, but these guys don't care about money. They're like, as long as I have like, you know, home for living and I have, you know, things okay for me, I don't care about becoming the millionaire or billionaire. Maybe they thought someday, but it's not a big concern for them. Okay, the concern, or like I can say the desire for them is the 7 houses away from the Ketu where Rahu is sitting. Okay, you, the place where your Ketu is sitting in, you know, in your chart, you are less like the least concerned about that place. You just like don't care much about that place. uh, Also because Ketu in the second house of family, so due to which the person is also not very much connected to the family. Okay, that can also be seen. Now since Ketu shows desires achieved in the past life or like the previous birth, hence in this birth the native, or I can say you, does not care about one's hoarding, wealth, bank balance. You don't care. Ketu in the second house definitely show that in the past life you may have good all these kind of stuff. So in this life you are like, okay, it's like I have all these things. So okay, so what's the difference? It's okay, I have it. So that kind of a thing can be seen. So it may also possible, guys, that if you have Ketu in the second house, you may criticize other people or cut through like their speech, etc., depending upon other aspects. So it may possible. So if you criticize other a lot and you have Ketu in the second house, then just try to reduce that. Okay, if you want to improve your life, that's what I can advise. When Ketu is located in the second house, so you may spend your money unnecessarily. Sometime it can also be possible. Okay, you may have face problem during primary education. That can also be seen, guys, because of Ketu's placement here. Now you understand, like you understand an issue quickly, but you may not get the support of your family. That can also be possible. uh, Now I would like to tell you one thing. When Ketu is in the second house, you must not perform immoral acts for earning money. I'm repeating again. If Ketu in the second house, you must not perform immoral acts for earning money. I am to be very specific. I'm saying this line word by word so that it get, like I can say, imprinted on your mind. Okay, so that's what I can tell you. Just keep that in your mind. Now this position of the Ketu is auspicious. In some auspicious sign can give the person comfort and conveniences also. Okay, now it may also possible, guys, when Ketu in the second house, it may also possible that you may eat bad food, drink alcohol, take drugs, etc. Again, if you are indulged in all these things and you see that you have Ketu in the second house, that I can simply say start reducing them. If you can leave, if you can just leave everything of these like drug, alcohol and all these kind of stuff, that's best for you guys. Okay, avoid any kind of bad food, just try to eat good food. Okay, and if you are not able to just leave completely, then just try to reduce that. Okay, and then slowly leave it, because uh, all I can say that it's really beneficial for you if you just keep away from these things. Otherwise you just keep indulge and you go down and down, and then it might be problematic for you at certain point of time. So what I can advise is try to avoid these kind of stuff. When Ketu is sitting in second house, education, etc., knowledge may be problematic, but you might be interested in like the metaphysical subject. Okay, and maybe interest in astrology, etc., can also be seen. uh, Ketu in the second house make you a very fertile, unique, or I can say strange imagination kind of a person, having the strange imagination. You may make money through oil, gas, like magic show. That can also be Ketu. Film, like any kind of movie, etc. Maybe by using photography, etc. Anything, or maybe some spiritual, etc. Maybe metaphysical subject. So by all these kind of oil, gas, magic, film, photography, spiritual, metaphysical things, kind of a thing, like by these, using these things, you can make money. Now guys, when Ketu sit in the second house, it throws its aspect on the 6th and the 10th house. Okay, and Ketu rules the psychic, spiritual and metaphysical interests and talents. Okay, and now when it aspect the 6th and the 10th house, like that is your work and the career, it increase your ability to work with yoga, meditation, astrology and so on. Okay, that can be seen. Now guys, these things whatever I told you become more prominent if you are going through Ketu dasha or Ketu bhukti, that means Ketu antardasha. Okay, so guys, this is all about Ketu in the second house. I have given you some important things that I in fact I just discussed very specific thing that I think it's like okay to discuss. And guys, I have given you some advices also, so please uh, follow these and I hope this helps. So guys, this is all about like the second house, family, wealth, married life, whatever I can share some insight. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button, of course the big red subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.